This time of year always happens to be the busiest for me. As a biomedical science major, there's always a lot of work that needs to be done. And while everybody knows that I'm a hard worker and I'm involved in multiple clubs, there's some things that people don't know about me. For instance, I'm a back alley doctor. My name is Kyle Provost, and today we're going to be talking about something very important that my patients often ask me about.
Can you tell me about vaccine-preventable diseases?
Of course, Timmy. Today we'll talk about polio. Have you ever suffered from sore throat, vomiting, stomach pain, paralysis, or death? Then it's possible you've been infected with polio. Polio is a life-threatening disease caused by the polio virus, which is a highly contagious human enterovirus. It is commonly transmitted through the feces of infected individuals or through contaminated food and water, such as this. This is why it is so common and so easy to spread in highly or densely populated countries or in areas that lack proper hygiene or sanitation standards. The disease is most prevalent in children under the ages of 5 because they're more apt to stick the contaminated products in their mouth. You know how kids are. Timmy, no, don't drink that!
I don't feel too good.
Well, Timmy, you just drank a mouthful of polio. When somebody's infected with polio, the virus enters the gastrointestinal tract, where it begins to divide and replicate. And from there, it may enter the bloodstream and start attacking the central nervous system, where it can begin destroying motor neurons. And some of those motor neurons are responsible for controlling the muscle movement that aid the lungs in respiration. Degeneration of those neurons will eventually lead to death. In other cases, it can just cause paralysis, which will lead to muscle atrophy. Now, there are 3 types of polio. There's subclinical, non-paralytic, and a paralytic form, and only about 1% of the people infected with polio suffer from the paralytic form. Of the paralytic form, there are also 3 types. There is spinal, which affects the spinal cord. There is bulbar, which affects the brain stem, and is the most severe. And there is bulbospinal, which affects both of them.
I think I'm gonna vomit.
Cut.
So how is this a vaccine-preventable disease?
Great question. Humans are the only vector for this disease. It cannot be transmitted from animals such as pigs or birds to humans. Not to mention the name almost gives it away. It's the human enterovirus. Of course, the virus has 3 different serotypes. Type 1, which is the most pervasive strain, Type 3, which is the least common, and Type 2, in which the last reported case was in 1999.
What type did I get?
Type 1. Of course, there are 2 vaccines that can prevent all of these negative consequences. The oral polio vaccine is the most common and was developed in 1961. And that consists of the trivalent oral polio vaccine, which is made up of all 3 serotypes, the bivalent, which is made up of types 1 and 3, and the monovalent, which is made up of any individual 1 serotype. In fact, it was so beneficial it was used in the United States from 1963 to 1998. And as beneficial as it was, there was a small chance that it could cause the vaccine-associated paralytic polio. And that's why they created the inactivated or killed polio vaccine, in which that is given in a series of 3 shots over an 18-month time span, and a booster shot given at 4 to 6 years of age. The best part, there's no risk of getting the paralytic form of the disease. Tell me, Timmy, what form of disease or vaccine did you get?
I didn't get any.
The mortality rates show that for people affected with the paralytic form of polio, about 2 to 5% of children died and 15 to 30% of adults died. And since the World Health Organization announced in 1988 that it would be eradicating polio, polio rates have decreased by 99%. And as of March 27th of 2014, it has been announced that India is now free from polio, and the eradication date is set for 2018. This is all very exciting.
So am I going to die?
Well, Timmy, you drank a mouthful of type 1 polio and have no immune response because you didn't get a vaccine.
So what does that mean?
That means to start enjoying life now while you can, because there is no cure. Thanks for joining us today and see what I do in my spare time.